You open your banking app, not because you're about to invest, not because you're planning something exciting, just checking again. You already checked this morning, but something about seeing the number gives you a weird mix of comfort and anxiety. It's not zero, which is good, but it's also not enough to feel calm. So you close the app, tell yourself you'll be better next month, and move on with your day. And honestly, that loop, that little ritual of checking, hoping, and then quietly worrying, that's way more common than people admit. Because here's the strange thing about money. Most people don't feel rich or even stable when they earn more. They feel stable when something inside their behavior changes. And for a lot of people who eventually build real wealth, that shift starts with a very unsexy number, $1,000. And yeah, I know that sounds underwhelming, like really, that's the big secret? But stick with me, because I've spent way too much time thinking about money, human behavior, and why some people slowly but steadily move forward financially, while others, smart, hardworking people, stay stuck in the same place for years. And the pattern shows up over and over again. The difference isn't income, it's not intelligence, it's not even discipline in the way we usually think about it. It's a habit around the first $1,000. Not how fast they earn it, not how flashy they save it, but how they treat it once it exists. And once you see this habit clearly, you can't unsee it. It changes how you look at your bank account, your spending, and honestly, yourself. So let's slow this down and talk it through like two people having a real conversation, not a lecture. Because this isn't about being rich, it's about not being constantly stressed. Here's the first thing most people don't realize. For someone who's broke or feels broke, $1,000 is emotional money. It's fragile, it's temporary, it's already spent in their head. That $1,000 is mentally assigned to future problems, car repairs, medical bills, random emergencies that haven't even happened yet. So even if it's technically sitting in their account, it doesn't feel like progress. It feels like a countdown. And because it feels temporary, it gets treated casually. Oh, I'll just dip into it a little. I'll replace it next month. It's fine, I deserve this. And that mindset isn't about laziness, it's about survival thinking. When money has always disappeared on you, you stop trusting it to stay. Now compare that to someone who builds wealth over time. To them, the first $1,000 is sacred. Not because it's a lot, but because of what it represents. It's proof that money can sit still, that it can exist without being immediately consumed, that not every dollar needs an emergency attached to it. Same amount, completely different meaning. And meaning drives behavior. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine money like a small fire. For most people, $1,000 is a spark they keep blowing on just to stay warm. Every expense is another gust of wind. The fire never grows, it just survives. But wealthy builders, they use that same spark to build a fire pit. They protect it, shield it, feed it slowly, and eventually that fire starts warming more than just today. That's the habit, not spending the first $1,000, not optimizing it, not flipping it, protecting it. Now here's where people get uncomfortable, because this habit forces you to sit with boredom. Saving the first $1,000 is boring. Leaving it untouched is even worse. There's no dopamine hit, no applause, no visible lifestyle upgrade. You're just not spending. And humans hate that. We're wired to feel progress through action. Buying something feels like movement. Saving feels like stagnation, even though it's the opposite. This is why so many people save $1,000 once and then never again. They hit the milestone, feel proud for about 12 minutes, and then slowly bleed it away on small things that don't feel dangerous. Until one day they check their account and think, wait, where did it go? That moment, that's the fork in the road. Some people feel shame and give up. Others get curious. And curiosity is where the habit forms. The people who eventually separate themselves financially ask a different question. Instead of, how do I earn more? They ask, how do I stop this from disappearing? And that question changes everything. They start seeing patterns. They notice that emergencies aren't always emergencies, that impulse spending has a mood, that boredom costs money, that stress has a price tag. They realized the $1,000 wasn't the problem. Their relationship with it was. Here's the actual habit, stripped down. Once you save your first $1,000, you don't touch it. Not for convenience, not for wants, not because you'll replace it later. You only touch it if not touching it would create real harm. And every time you feel the urge to break that rule, you pause and ask, what am I really trying to solve right now? That pause, that's the muscle. That's the separation. Because broke behavior reacts, wealthy behavior delays. Now, quick aside, because this always comes up, but what about investing it? Honestly, that question usually comes from impatience, not strategy. Investing is powerful, yeah, but investing before you trust yourself to leave money alone is like putting a sports engine in a car with no brakes. The first $1,000 isn't for growth, it's for identity. It teaches you, I am someone who doesn't need to consume everything I earn, and that belief compounds faster than any index fund. Once this habit locks in, weird things start happening. You stop panicking over small expenses. Your decisions slow down. Your confidence rises, not because you're rich, but because you're not fragile anymore. And then saving $2,000 doesn't feel twice as hard. It feels easier because the habit already exists. That's why people say the first $1,000 is harder than the next $10,000. Not mathematically, but psychologically. You're not fighting numbers, you're fighting old wiring.